Hi everybody, this is Chris, and for those that don't know, I study and practice hand reading, specific Vedic palmistry, Indian palmistry, and I studied the book that was written. I studied several books, and one of them, which is my favorite, it was written by none other than the Ascended Master Saint Germain. And in this video, I want to specifically share some information about the size of the hands, okay, and what they mean. The process of measuring a hand is a separate topic that I'm not going to cover in this video. I just want to share three specific sizes of hands. And what inspires me to make this video is that I recently came across a person that asked me to read his hand, and I gave him a quick hand reading. He's related to one of my neighbors, and he was around, and he knows I read hands, and he asked me to look at his hand. And when I look at his hand, I mentioned, he actually mentioned the size of his hand, and I noticed that he had a complex of inferiority, thinking that it was bad to have small hands. And I am very glad that I was able to remove that self-inflicted complex based on ignorance. He told me he used to be teased by others that they told him his hand was too small for a man. And I told him, well, small. Okay, first of all, let me read this here. I made some notes, so I'm reading from my own notes, okay? When judging the size of a hand, it's always necessary to consider both the size and the sex of the person. And a careful harmony should be achieved in between both. And that's common sense, we have to base the size of the hand on the size of the person, of course. And again, measuring a hand for palmistry, for hand reading purposes, has a process, a specific process that I'm not going to cover in this video. It's nothing complicated, it's just a separate subject. We measure the hand from the back, from the base of the hand, from the wrist to the tip of the second finger, which is the middle finger, the Saturn finger, okay? And that's how we measure, from the top of this finger to the base of the hand. And I usually do it in the front, but the book suggests that you do it from the back, okay? And so you measure the length of the hand and also the width of the hand, and then you have to do a ratio to see if it's a 30%, a 20%, or a 10% difference, okay? And that's how you determine a normal hand, a large hand, or a small hand, okay? And I didn't even notice anything about the size. I usually don't look when I'm giving a quick hand reading. If I'm creating a report, a palmistry report, then of course I will write a lot more details. But if I'm doing just a quick hand reading for a neighbor, or a friend of a neighbor, or a relative of a neighbor, then I'm not gonna go into too much details. So I look at his hand, and I was specifically looking for his main lines. And when I do a quick reading, I usually use the main lines only, and the nails, the shape of the fingers, and then I give the person some idea, because I don't want to make it too complicated for them. But anyway, so my intention was that. And then he mentioned to me that people used to tease him about having small hands. Okay, so now a small hand belongs to sensitive minds, people with broad ideas and synthetic talents, okay? That's what the book says. That's what the classic says, okay? And I'm talking about Indian palmistry here, okay? Which is Vedic palmistry, which is where Saint Germain learned. He learned from the Indians, and he wrote a book. I believe the original book was written in French because he was a Frenchman. And but I think he was also bilingual. And the book has been translated into English, and now also in Portuguese because I translated the book. Well, I didn't. I can't say I translated. I transliterated because I used my own words. Okay. All right. So let's move on here. A normal sized hand means common sense, healthy, and practical talents. Okay. Now, a large hand means love and aptitude for useless details and analytical talents. Okay. I have a course that I created in palmistry, but the course is in Portuguese, and the reason is because there are too many courses already in English, and I'm sure you're going to find one. And I recommend, if you have an interest in learning how to read hands or read your own hand, I recommend the book by Saint Germain. Okay, you can find it anywhere, and I have seen it on Amazon, and I'm sure you can find it on the internet. The original one was written 300 years ago. The original one in English, okay, was written 300 years ago, and that's the one I read it, and that's the one I transliterated into Portuguese, which you can see. You can actually get the book in this website that I have, astro.quiromanciavedica.com.br, because it's in Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese, so it's tailored to the Brazilian folks or whoever speaks Portuguese. All right. Okay, all right, so if you have an interest in learning palmistry, I recommend the book by Saint Germain. And if you want a hand reading by me, then you can contact me, and I'll have the link in this website. You can contact me in that website, and or you can also contact me at my main website, which is illumina.pub. Okay, and from there you can find in the shop section, you can find a hand reading offer that I have there. Well, I hope this has helped somebody. I am so glad I was able. He was very thankful, this person, that I was able to eliminate this complex of inferiority that he had, thinking that it was bad to have a small hand. It's not bad, okay? Now, if it's too small, the bad part about that is that it can mean somebody cruel, but of course the person has to be provoked to cruelty. Nobody, I think, is cruel. I mean, some people might be cruel for no reason, but that's we are talking about evil people. I'm not talking about evil people here, okay? And evil people, yeah, they do hurt others for no reason other than just having pleasure to do that. But anyway, yeah, if you have people with too small hands that have a tendency to cruelty, I think because they are extra sensitive, okay, that's where I think it's coming from. All right, okay, so I was able to I'm stumbling upon myself here. Anyway, I hope I was able to, I don't hope, I know I was able to eliminate that complex from him, because now he knows what the truth is about having small hands, okay? It's nothing bad about it, okay? Alright, well, I hope this helps somebody, and until the next one, bye for now. One more thing that I forgot to mention. I am having a live video on the 21st of March, and sometimes I say Mars, okay, 21st of March. Okay, so it will be 21st of March, probably around 3 p.m., either 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. where I'm going to answer questions. It can be any question. And if you wish to ask me questions about your hands, if you want me to answer you a specific question about your hand, then I'm gonna have a link to a location on the internet where you can upload a photo of your hand, and then I'll take it from there. Okay, so I just want to mention the live, which will be this coming up on the 21st of March around 2 or 3 p.m. And I don't know exactly the time yet. It depends on my availability and other things that will unfold between now and then. But it's going to be tentative for either 2 or 3 p.m. Okay, and I plan to have these lives every third Saturdays of every month for now, unless nobody shows up after doing for 6 months, then I'm going to stop. And otherwise, if picks up, then I'm going to increase the frequency. Okay, but that's a tryout right now. Well, I like to mention quickly that I used to have a channel before with almost 60,000 subscribers, and I had live videos back then where I answered questions and was very busy, and but then all kinds of other things happened, and I had to stop doing that. But anyway, so I'm trying to start that again, and I'll see what happens about that. All right, well, I hope to see you there. Bye.